Hi everyone, I am Rajesh Kumar. Welcome back to my channel SRK English Academy. I'm back again with a new video, and this video is helpful for MA English students. The topic is the airstream mechanisms. Yeah, let's see what's an airstream mechanism. So, for the production of speech sounds, we need an airstream. So, airstream mechanism is a method to move air in or out of the vocal tract for producing speech sounds. So, we require air movement for producing speech sounds. This air movement is called airstream. So, lung air is the primary source for speech, and when we breathe in or when we push air out of lungs into outer atmosphere, the air is modified by organs of speech to create sounds. So let's see what are the organs of speech. There are three systems in human body: the respiratory system, and the phonatory system, the articulatory system. The respiratory system includes lungs, muscles, trachea. The phonatory system includes larynx. Larynx is also called voice box and vocal cords. The articulatory system: nose, mouth, tongue, lips, and teeth. As we know, for the articulation of most speech sounds of most languages, lung air is used. The air that we breathe out is modified into speech sounds. So let's try to understand a human lungs anatomy, and let's see what are the parts in the lung. So this is trachea. It's also called a windpipe. So the respiratory system consists of the lungs, the muscles of the chest, and the windpipe. So like these lungs are spongy bodies. So these spongy bodies are made up of small sacs called alveoli or alveolus. So yeah, air is supplied to the alveoli by small tubes called bronchioles. The bronchioles come together into two large tubes called the bronchi. So this is a large tube and this is another large tube. So these large tubes join. These are called bronchi. So one is situated on the right and another is on the left. So these are called bronchi. The bronchi join the trachea or windpipe. These are the bronchi. These bronchi join here to windpipe or the trachea. So here it is through the windpipe that the air that we breathe in passes through the throat into the lungs. So this involves two processes: taking air into the lungs, taking outer air into the lungs, it is called inspiration, and throwing out air from the lungs into the outer atmosphere is called expiration. So this is about the human lungs, and see, let's see pulmonic. What are the types of airstream mechanisms? In the next slide. So let's see what are the types of airstream mechanisms. There are three main airstream mechanisms. These are called pulmonic, glottalic, and velaric. So a large percentage of speech sounds in all the languages that are spoken in the world use a pulmonic airstream mechanism. So pulmonary means lungs. So this airstream mechanism consists of the lungs and the respiratory muscles. So this airstream mechanism consists glottis and velum. So let's see first type of airstream mechanism, pulmonic airstream mechanism. So it consists of lungs and the respiratory muscles. So it is the most common mechanism in world languages. Just now I have told you. And the walls of the lungs are they act as walls of the lungs act as the initiator. So the walls of the lungs initiate here. So these are moved by the respiratory muscles so that air is drawn into the lungs or pushed out of lungs. So here we see two types of airstream mechanisms, pulmonic airstream mechanisms. One is aggressive and second one is ingressive. So let us see aggressive. What is aggressive? So when the airstream mechanism used to push air out or air is pushed out, it is called egressive. Okay. So when air is drawn in or taken into the lungs from the outer atmosphere, it is called ingressive. So air is pushed out, it is egressive. Air is drawn into the lungs is ingressive. So ingressive is opposite to egressive pulmonic airstream. So here see the diagram. So see the direction of airflow. So air is going out from the lungs through the mouth, and here this is called egressive. Okay, so air is pushed out. Here you see the diagram. So direction of airflow. Here air is coming into the lungs through the mouth and a windpipe, trachea. It reaches lungs. So this is ingressive. Okay, so air is pushed out, and here air is to draw air in. Okay, so this is the difference between egressive and ingressive pulmonic airstream. Two types of pulmonic airstream mechanisms, egressive and ingressive. So pushing air out of our lungs is egressive, and drawing air into lungs is ingressive. So most speech sounds make use of this airstream mechanism. Remember this, most speech sounds and many languages. So large percentage of speech sounds in all the languages that are spoken in the world use this type of egressive pulmonic airstream mechanism and ingressive. So in ingressive, no language uses this airstream mechanism for the production of speech sounds. We use ingressive pulmonic airstream mechanism for yawning and snoring, but not for speaking but not for speaking. So before going to learn a second type of airstream mechanism, a glottalic mechanism, so we should learn key terms which are involved in the airstream mechanism. So larynx. Larynx is also called voice box. So this is larynx. So this larynx and the glottis and vocal cords. These are, so this is glottis, glottis and vocal folds or vocal cords. So these two are part of larynx. So vocal folds or vocal cords and glottis, these two are part of larynx. This is larynx is responsible for breathing and sound production. So what is glottis? Glottis is the space between the vocal cords. So here let's see the picture, see the diagram. So these are vocal folds this is also fold, so complete. So these are vocal folds. So here line is drawn. So these are vocal folds or vocal cords, and the space between these folds is called glottis. Here this is a space. So this space is called glottis. Okay. So these vocal cords and glottis play a key role in sound production. So these vocal cords or vocal folds within the larynx. So these vocal cords vibrate. So these vocal cords vibrate to create voice when air passes through them. So they vibrate, or sometimes they close, and when the air passes they vibrate. Sometimes for some sounds, to produce some sounds, they wide open. So the space between these vocal folds or vocal cords is called glottis. So let's see a second type of airstream mechanism, glottalic airstream mechanism. Yeah, second type of airstream mechanism, glottalic. So in this, there is a closure of glottis. So used glottis and the movement of larynx. So which is the what is the initiator here? Closed glottis is the initiator, and this airstream mechanism also two types: egressive and ingressive. So in egressive, the when the closed glottis is raised, it compresses the air above it. So when it is released, when the air is released, it produces ejective sounds. The sounds produced by the egressive glottalic airstream mechanism is called ejective sounds. So these speech sounds we see in African and North American languages, and also language spoken in Hausa, which is northern region in Nigeria, southern region in Nigeria. Then second, ingressive glottalic airstream. So this is when the closed glottis is raised. So we see this type of airstream mechanism. Here in ingressive, the glottis is lowered while closed. Here it is raised, it is lowered in ingressive. When it is lowered, air is drawn into the glottis. It produces implosive sounds. So those sounds are called implosives. So these implosives we see in Sindhi language. Sindhi language is spoken in majority of Pakistan in Sindh province, and in minority uh, places in India. So this is a language spoken by Sindhi people, Sindhi language, mostly spoken in the Sindh province of Pakistan, and also some minorities in Indian in India. The third airstream mechanism is velaric airstream mechanism. It is also called oral airstream mechanism because the air in the mouth is set in motion during this airstream mechanism. So for this reason, this is called oral airstream mechanism. So here the air in the mouth is set in motion or in the oral cavity. So that's why it's called oral airstream mechanism. So back of the tongue is the initiator. So in pulmonic, wall of the lungs act as initiator. In glottalic, closed glottis acts as an initiator. Here, back of the tongue is it acts as an initiator. So it involves back of the tongue and a roof of the mouth. So roof of the mouth is velum, that is also called soft palate. So this is soft palate, and it also involves back of the tongue, back of the tongue. And so the air is trapped inside the oral cavity. So this is mouth. This is called oral cavity. So the air is trapped inside oral cavity. When the air is released by moving the tongue, it creates click sounds. So this airstream, velaric airstream mechanism is used in producing click sounds. So clicks are found in very few languages, in African languages, very few African languages, and it is found in extra linguistic context. For example, when we uh, see an animal on the road, we want to show it, we make click sounds, we produce click sounds. So these type of sounds are called click sounds. These sounds are made by velaric airstream mechanism. Here an example also given. So this is dental click. This is a dental click. So these are clicks. And so the sound produced with velaric ingressive mechanism exists in very few languages, very few African languages. And sound produced with velaric egressive. Remember this egressive, that they do not exist any language. So already I have told you, ingressive mechanism is taking air into oral cavity or into our from outer side to in into our oral cavity or from through the nasal cavity, and egressive is pushing air out. So we can only see velaric ingressive mechanism in very few languages, but we do not see it do not seem to exist in any language. So that is egressive mechanism. Velaric egressive mechanism do not exist in any language.